Little power button.
Check 1, 2.
That sounded good.
Just when we're talking.
Okay.
Broadcasted.
We're gonna go without a mic stand.
You ready?
Ready.
All right, very good. All right, we'll call the meeting to order at 8:34 this morning. Hello, everyone. Hope everybody had a great holiday. I did. Hope you did too. We have to salute the Lions this morning, Detroit Lions, big W yesterday, so continue on. All right, we have a couple of meeting minutes to approve. One is from the first one's from the joint session with the City Commission of Monday, November 18th. So you have those in front of you. So if you would be so kind as to take a quick look, let us know if we need to make any adjustments to those.
That was a nice meeting.
He says that because I wasn't there. I think it's probably what he's, I think that's what he suggested.
It was
Yeah,
just
I don't
kind of
know.
good to kind of get everybody on the same page, I felt like.
For sure,
Yeah,
for sure.
it kind of just seemed like trying to get all the different bodies walking in step. It was
Yeah.
nice.
No easy task. right?
No, no.
Okay, any issues there? Can we get a motion to approve those?
So moved.
We'll move. Second?
Second.
Second. All right, Sue, thank you. All in favor? Aye, opposed? All right. The other set is our regular meeting minutes from Monday, December 9th. Those are also in your package. Take a quick look. See if there's anything out of whack we need to adjust. Expertly prepared by Emily or Kelly or Kelly. Oh, yes. I could see the difference right away.
Yeah, sure.
Not really, not really. That's good. Any issues with that? Anything going on? All right, can we get a motion to approve those? Moved. Robert, second, someone? Second?
I wasn't there, so I don't feel like I should.
I'll second.
All right, Deb will second. Very good. Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Right, great. All opposed? Anybody opposed? No. All right, very good. All right, let's move to the financial reports in your package. You have our usual plethora of financial pages. Emily, just quickly now, I understand the audit is done? Yep.
Audit is complete. I think that we feel more comfortable with these numbers. We did see a change that I think results from closing out the year.
Okay.
No,
No. I mean, I can because you're sitting right there, but.
the other one.
What about now?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Okay, so might have some tweaks as we wrap this up, because we just completed for the end of the calendar year.
Right.
But the beginning fund balance did change. I don't have the numbers from last time in front of me. I want to say it was 70 something and it came down to 64.
Okay.
So we did see a little bit of a shift as a result of closing out
Okay.
the year. I think we're feeling pretty comfortable with the 190,000 left over from last year in the capital funds.
Right.
I highlighted that in red
Yep.
because it has not yet been approved, but we plan to have that on the agenda for the city commission a week from today.
So it would be a combination of the carryover plus another 200,000 allocated.
That 200,000 is already there. That was
Already
part of the
there. Okay.
budget. So that's there, and then we would add the 190 rollover
Okay.
if
So
it's approved.
390 going into the year. Okay.
Exactly.
All right. And I don't know if anybody's looked through the expenses or current expenses seem to be pretty typical, I guess is probably the way I would put it.
Yeah, yeah, that's right.
This capital fund will be critical. We'll get into a discussion about wayfinding in a minute, and we'll see that disappear fairly quickly. I think is what's gonna transpire. So, any questions, comments, observations, math questions? Okay. All right, can I get a motion to approve the financial report?
So moved.
So moved, thank you. Second, very good. Any other comments, discussion? No, everybody good? Okay, can we approve the financial report? All in favor, say aye.
Stephanie?
Aye, opposed? Very good. Financial report. All right, before we get into this next session, I wanted to just make a couple of comments about something. I meet with Emily and now Kelly regularly before our meetings, and we talk about the agenda, what we're gonna discuss, what items and what have you. So at the last meeting, since it's the beginning of a new calendar year, not our fiscal year, I was rattling off to them all the activities we have in the hopper. And I started to go down this list of things like paid parking and wayfinding and Pleasant Street and Main Street and the parking lot and the RRC and the TIF and whatever. So my comment to Emily and Kelly was, that's a lot of stuff, right? It's a lot of activity. And I expressed my concern about not their ability, that's not the right word, their ability to manage the time and the effort that it takes to make all those things happen. And of course, they dismissed my concern because they're very, very good at what they do, and they're certainly prepared to manage whatever it is that we throw on the table. But so I mention this because I just want to make sure we as a board understand that, and we understand the workload and the activity level that we've taken on. Much to the credit of this board, frankly, by being active and wanting basically to do things, right? But when we say things like, oh, let's do X, we walk out of this room and these young ladies and all their compatriots and the staff actually are the ones that make it happen. So anyway, I wanted to make that comment and just have everyone here be sensitive to that, and that any way we can assist and help these processes along, that we want to do that. So anyway, that's my soapbox for this morning. So we'll carry on. All right, order of old business. Main Street, the Loop rebuilding project. We have an upcoming meeting in February.
Yes.
Which thankfully for the meeting, I won't be able to attend as well. So
I know, I
Please, go ahead.
apologize.
is this going to be giving us more of a, what they're,
update.
Yep,
Okay,
so
okay.
this will be the advisory group getting back together. Off the top of my head, I don't remember who was on the advisory group. I think Deb, Chris, Tom. Am I missing anyone?
No, it's
Okay, so are you two available on that date? Did you get the invitation? Okay, great. And then I don't know if we want to send a substitute for
what was the
Tom or if
date?
we're February 5th at noon.
I will actually be gone.
Okay, so
I'll be
we
in Canada.
okay, so we've got one. Okay, do we want to send a substitute or two? Are there others who are
I'm very sad
interested?
I'm missing it.
I assume you'll be there.
Absolutely.
Kelly going to this
Yep,
too?
we'll have a
Yeah.
lot of staff there.
Not on behalf of the DDA, but I'm on group 2 and I'll be there.
Yeah,
Great.
I think we'll be fine.
Okay, great.
Is
So
it
we've,
possible to join it remotely at all?
I don't know, but I would like to explore at the very least recording it.
Yeah, that would be good.
I can ask about remote. I mean,
Because
it's,
I could join
it's gonna
it
be here.
remotely,
Okay,
but I'll be in Canada
Yeah.
that day.
where the meeting will be here?
Here in this room.
yeah,
Okay.
it'll be at lunchtime. We'll have, I think, some food here.
I should be able to attend.
Okay,
I'm anticipating I will be in town.
I'll make sure I get the information to you. One of us will get the information to you.
Yeah, and this is an advisory group meeting, not a public meeting. correct?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then there's a public meeting scheduled a ways down the road.
March.
Oh, sorry, March. I
March.
apologize. I'm skipping ahead to the others. In March, date not set. And then going out further, August, an advisory group meeting, May 26th, an advisory group meeting, and then May, June 26th, a public meeting. So just to give you a sense of what's coming.
And MDOT's at all those meetings?
MDOT leads those meetings. These are MDOT meetings.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
we're
I-
hosting here, which we're happy to do, but
Right.
it's their
I
meeting.
gather, Emily, this thing is like on track. I mean, nobody has
Yeah,
any.
I mean, knock on
concerns
wood, right
about,
now, right
timing.
now, it is
Right.
on track.
Right.
We'll,
I mean, they've
see as we
chosen a
progress.
company. That seems like a big
Yep.
step.
Yeah, that's a
Yep.
big deal. Sure.
yep, and
sure.
we were involved with the procurement. I mean, Tim sat on the selection committee.
Yep.
So we're happy with how that came out
out,
and yeah,
yep.
it's progressing. We've got Jones Petrie Urfinski working with them. So,
Great.
yeah, and I think after this meeting, I hope we'll be able to bring some materials to share with the DDA as well.
Great. All right, good. Very good. All right, and there's a Gantt chart there. If you're so inclined, you can look through that. It's interesting to read the descriptions of various items, some of which make sense to me, some of which make no sense, but I'm sure they make sense to someone, and that's what's important, right? Okay, so let us get into some new business. Pleasant Street Plaza changes. I think we
Well,
have some guests here.
We do.
Talk about
I
this.
promised that I would speak to it.
Okay,
But we
all
do
right.
have Debbie and Rob here from Wolf Financial.
Yes, welcome. Yeah, thanks for coming. Yeah,
Um,
okay, go ahead, Emily.
Great, thank you. So Debbie approached me a few months ago about Pleasant Street Plaza. So I couldn't find a good map. We can pull up Google Maps if it's helpful. I will let the Wolf folks speak for themselves, but my understanding is that they have the wonderful problem of,
Yeah,
and they already own a building on Court Street, right as you sort of make the turn on Pleasant Street Plaza, just before you get to Ship. And so it's the building that's been for sale for a while or for lease.
It's one with its own little parking lot, right? Okay.
On this side,
right.
Okay.
And so they decided, since they need more space, to take it off the market and to expand and
Yeah.
move back into that space,
Terrific.
which is great.
Yep.
However, a challenge that they have concerns about is parking for their clients in the summer season when Pleasant Street Plaza is active. And we have much of that road shut down.
Right.
There's access through the alley, I think to your private parking. But, for clients, having folks go down the alley is less than ideal from their perspective. And so Debbie came in and we chatted, and I spoke with Tim Zebel, who spoke with our traffic engineer, and we did some thinking. And what we propose is to the north of Silver Harbor on Court Street, we don't close for Pleasant Street Plaza. And so when Debbie came in, I said, well, I park there all the time in the summer.
Right,
And she
right.
made the very wise point, well, you're driving the wrong way on a one-way street when you do that.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
which is something I wish I didn't say on record.
So
but-
people were coming in there anyway, is what.
But I did. And you know what? I wasn't the only one there.
Sure.
Right?
Sure.
And so the question was, can we just open up the street, take down the one-way signs, and make this make sense? And so Tim went out with the traffic engineer. They took a look. You can see their recommendations here. Remove the one-way sign, install two-way traffic signs, no parking signs, no trucks. Adjust just a bit the striping for parking to allow more space for
Right.
two-way traffic.
Mhm.
And basically, when we shut down everything else for Pleasant Street Plaza, we would open that up in a different way
Right.
to make it accessible for, to be clear, anyone. It
Right.
would be public
Sure.
parking.
Sure.
Wolf clients could certainly use it and be pointed to it, but others could park there as well. I think with our new downtown parking plan, it would be 3-hour parking. We bring all of this to you because there was a 5-year agreement for Pleasant Street Plaza, and this would be a change to it. And so to go forward with this, we would need to go back to the city commission and seek approval to make a modification to Pleasant Street Plaza. 2025 is the last, if I remember correctly,
Right.
of the 5 years. So we would make a modification for this year, and then, of course, we would need to think about what Pleasant Street Plaza looks like subsequently.
So when you think about this road has kind of always been open and probably utilized, but now we're going to
I
make
can
it.
only speak for one,
Yeah,
but
yeah. No, well,
again,
now
I'm not the
we're gonna
only
make
car
it-
parking
Yeah,
there.
we're going to make it legit essentially.
Exactly. And I
so
think doing
with
so
the
is
proper
probably safer.
signage and striping and whatever.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. I think it's probably a safer choice if we're going to allow traffic
Absolutely.
there, which we
If
do.
we're gonna modify parking and striping, I would strongly, strongly, strongly urge the city to consider along the Silver Harbor building, that the first 2 years that was closed and they used that as their plaza. And then they kind of moved around. And so people still park there, but they're diagonal spaces. So you come down,
So you're talking about Pleasant.
so
now.
you come down this alley.
Right.
You turn Silver Harbor's here, Court
Right,
Street's over
right.
here. So you turn and you go into the spot, but then to leave, you have to come back out the wrong way.
Right,
Because you used to just come out and go around Court Street.
right.
Now you have to, even though the spots are angled, you have to
Back
you have
up.
to come back out and back across the angle and go back out. So those streets need to be, or spots need to be made straight in summer. So it's not so wonky. They're gonna, like, somebody's gonna get run over. And people kind of walk there anyways because they think it's all, like, you can tell it's not closed because there's always cars parked there.
Yeah.
But if you're gonna make stuff legit, just straighten those spots out as well.
So I will talk to Tim.
Yeah.
And Tim Drews, our traffic engineer. I do not believe the plan is to straighten the parking on Court Street. I think it is to keep it diagonal, but shorten the length of the parking
So you're
spaces.
gonna come in this way and park against the diagonal.
Mhm,
Okay.
mhm. I think that's right.
Yeah, I mean.
But I think, Deb, that you're raising a valid concern and I will take it to them. I
it's-
just don't know what the solution is.
Well, I mean, if you're gonna like try and solve, the only way to solve it
Yeah.
is to make the spots straight instead of, because you kind of come out and then luckily they're pretty wide spots, but
Yeah.
otherwise you have to come almost all the way to the sidewalk before you can turn this way. And then you're going at, the legit thing is, it's a one-way street. And if you're backing out to go out, it's meant to be a one-way street and there's
It's the
cars
same,
going
yeah.
both directions.
Yep.
yeah,
Yep.
it's the same issue as you
It
have
is.
on the other
On
street,
Court. It's
basically.
gonna be-
I mean,
So
It's
you're
sort of the
gonna create the
reverse
same
because when you come
problem.
in, it's got the right
right,
angle,
right,
the correct angle. When
right.
you leave,
it's-
it's right.
it's the wrong
This
angle.
on Court Street, you're coming in at the wrong angle and leaving at the right
Yeah,
angle.
you'll leave at the right angle.
Yeah.
So it's backwards.
It's easier.
But it's still weird because it's 9 months out of the year, it's a one-way street. And so people come in to park and then somebody's coming and then the car that's coming into park has to scooch up almost onto the sidewalk to let the other car pass.
Wow.
And they come in because, ooh, there's an empty spot.
Yeah,
They're not
right,
gonna
right.
move on. They're gonna wait for it.
Yeah.
And so.
Fortunately, there's a massive space between those parking lots and the curb. I mean,
I mean, it's big enough for it to be
it's a
two-way
big- It's a big
traffic,
area,
which is
right, yeah.
helpful.
Two
It's
traffic.
I
big
can't speak to
enough-
the Pleasant Street side,
Yeah.
though. I mean, we've only looked at
Well,
Court
why don't
for
talk
this.
with Tim about
Yeah,
this and
we
see-
can
see
bring
what
this
he
back
thinks.
If
and
you
if,
stand there and watch it, you watch people almost get hit all the time.
so I would argue unless the Wolf folks feel otherwise, that we package all of this up and bring it to the commission
Sure.
at the same time.
Sure,
Which means maybe revisiting Pleasant Street, bringing it back for the February meeting here, because I think it's important to have
Yeah.
DDA support.
Because
And
it
then
doesn't need to
taking
be
it.
resolved till May. And I think
Right,
it should be.
right.
I mean, I think they're, what they
And I
want
think
is
if
perfectly
you're
reasonable.
comfortable and for the sake of Debbie and Rob, a vote today would be helpful for this portion.
sure.
And
Mm-hmm.
then we can separately explore Pleasant Street and bring both to the
Yeah,
city
because I'm not
commission.
suggesting that,
Yeah.
but I'm just saying, fix both sides of the street.
Yeah, yep,
So will the,
March. Okay.
Okay. Pleasant Street doesn't start until like Memorial Day weekend, I
Yeah.
don't think. Or maybe it's
Um,
mid-May.
May 15th?
Mid-May.
It's May
May
15th.
15th,
okay.
Yeah, yeah.
But, so it needs to get resolved. by-
So Emily, do you want us to provide approval for or support for the Wolf or the Court portion of this?
I
So
would
really-
love for you to take a vote.
just to
Yeah,
make sure,
Yes,
this wouldn't affect the pedestrian portion of what Silver Harbor enjoys.
Exactly.
and
No,
all
exactly.
that. It's
The-
just
Pass.
really the changing the traffic pattern on
exactly
Court.
right. What
Court,
we would
yeah.
need to do,
I think that actually
What-
makes sense.
what I would encourage us to do is purchase additional planter boxes like we purchased
Yeah,
last summer, 2 summers ago,
Too,
because
yeah.
we didn't put them on the Court Street side
yeah.
because
Yeah.
it was one-way traffic
They
that
weren't
people
that
shouldn't
expensive,
really be
yeah.
using.
So you have a
So-
clear barrier. is what
So we
yeah.
would also, I think, want to allocate, whether it's from our budget or our fund balance, a little bit of money to get probably 3 additional planter boxes
Sure.
to put there.
So would you like, you would like us to approve a motion to support the changes to Court Street that you've outlined? And along with the supplemental planters, am I stating?
Sure, I can come back to you if it's helpful with the cost for the planters.
I don't think
Or-
they're
No,
very
I don't,
expensive.
I don't
no, we're
either.
not- I don't.
No.
I
Maybe
think
we should
we're-
just go ahead and
Then
buy.
by all
them.
means.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So can I get a motion to that effect? Does everybody understand what we're trying to do here? So we want to provide support or approval, I guess, for the Court Street adjustments that has been articulated in your notes, along with the purchase of additional planners to provide a physical barrier between Silver Harbor's activities and the Court Street traffic.
I would make a motion for that.
I'll second that. I think it's a good move. It almost seems like that portion of Court Street is underutilized in a very busy summer.
Yeah.
So I think that's a good move.
Good.
And then I would just ask city to study the Pleasant Street portion of
Any-
parking in front of Silver Harbor.
Any other
Because
discussion
it's
on
a,
this?
it's a
Yeah, please,
similar problem.
please, go ahead.
Yeah, so two quick comments. One is, given that the agreement ends at 2025,
At the end.
it might, at the end of 2025.
Yeah,
It-
one more year.
Yeah,
basically.
one more
Yeah.
season.
Season, yeah,
Yeah.
you got it.
It might make sense for the engineers and et cetera, to make a decision or, well, ultimately would be a recommendation going forward. So will that continue, Pat? You might as well try to do all of it all at once rather than we're gonna do this little piece and this little piece and that.
Yeah.
Just figure it out now. And then that way also for those who benefit from the plaza can continue to plan, moving forward. The only other is just a small point of order with regard to budgets. I always feel better if when we're going to buy something, we say not to exceed X. So rather than, and I have no earthly idea what those, but anyway, that's just, I think, good business.
Yeah.
I think they were a couple $100
Yeah, yeah.
each.
Okay.
They're around ballpark
Co-
250
yeah.
or somewhere.
Yeah,
Something
so if
like
you
that.
say not to exceed $1,000.
Yeah.
And then
That-
there's
that would
dirt and
you-
trees to go in them.
Yeah, would
So-
whoever made the motion accept that as a friendly
Yeah, that was me.
amendment?
Yeah.
Okay,
Fine.
so just
Any other-
a dollar amount.
Any other discussion? Go ahead.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Andrew.
Having purchased planters last summer, I would encourage you to bump that number up a little bit, maybe not to exceed 2,000.
I was gonna
I'm
say
fine
the
with
same.
that
Yeah, I was gonna say
2,000.
the same. yeah.
I'm
Just
fine.
to- just
I
to-
also want to
Give a
point
little-
out that the gentleman at this table funded our planters last time. It was a gift jointly from St. Joseph Today and Cornerstone Alliance. I'm not saying they're going to do it
Be
again,
volunteering that again?
but I just wanted to remind everyone what a generous gift that was.
Thank you, thank you.
Next,
thank you.
oh, okay, okay. Nothing financial. Okay, all right, okay.
I tried.
All right. All right, so any more discussion on that, the Court Street element? The planters not to exceed a couple of grand,
Mhm.
and a side thing to look into Pleasant.
Is that part of the motion?
Yes, yes.
Well, it doesn't need to,
Well,
that doesn't need to be,
Yeah,
that's
it
not
doesn't need
part
to
of
be
the
part of.
motion.
That was
it.
just a suggestion.
Just a suggestion,
Okay.
just so we have that in there. Okay, so any more discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? So motion carried. All right, is that, yeah, and this is, just to be clear on this is just seasonal, right? I mean.
This
will
is
be-
just seasonal.
Yeah, right, that's right.
Yep.
It'll go back to one way.
No.
Yeah,
It would go back to one
yeah,
way.
because the
after.
street comes, you
Exactly.
know. and-
Oh,
Yep.
okay.
Thanks for joining
yeah,
us.
Sure.
I've seen Robert.
Makes sense, guys.
All right, thanks for coming. Appreciate it. Thank you. Good luck with all that.
Okay.
Yeah, good luck with that. Hire a lot of people. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we like that.
Aye.
Thank you. All right, next item is wayfinding fabrication. I got a bit of a chuckle about our estimate and the reality of wayfinding, wayfinding signage. Emily can take us through this, but we have a couple of proposals. This is for the actual fabrication of the signs. So we've had a lot of discussion about placement and what's on them and how they look and what color and all that's good stuff. Now we're actually gonna have someone make them and install them, right? Yeah.
Yes.
And we received, it looked like, like 4 proposals? How many did you send out, just out of curiosity?
Well, didn't really work that way.
Okay. Well, I
We
was,
partnered with Corbin.
yes,
Can you still hear me? I hate having
Yes.
this in my face.
yes,
We partnered with Corbin. They sent it out to, I think, 3 or 4 that they often work with,
yes.
none of whom bid, which
Oh.
I know was a surprise to them.
Wow, okay.
We put it on our website. Did you send it directly?
No.
But we, we tried to get the word out there.
Sure,
But
sure.
we did not have the same type of list that we often work
You're right.
on. But we did obviously drum up some interest because we got 4.
Yeah, okay. All right, very good. So in your package, or in the email last night, you had a little summary.
Yeah, it's
This little
big fat
color,
page,
this
yeah.
little colored summary gives you the 4 proposals we've got. Interesting, quite a range on the pricing. It's like. one
I
is-
found it shocking that the bond quote was so drastically different.
Mhm.
'Cause I
Yeah.
think that would just be
Yeah, you
like a
think-
standard kind of thing.
You would think
Like I
so.
get everybody's fees are gonna be different, what they categorize as stuff is different.
Yeah.
But like the bond part, I was like, well, that's weird that
Probably
goes
tied to
from
the,
1,500 to 8,000.
Well, as
Tied to dollar
Corbin
amounts,
said,
probably.
Forge is a New Jersey firm, and we are definitely looking at East Coast prices.
yeah.
Mhm.
On Forge, which might explain why it's so significantly different, but still 1,500 to 4,000 is even a
Right.
big swing.
So it looks like here you go through like an algorithm, weighting various factors and giving scores and all this kind of good stuff. And I assume this is kind of standard city practice, this weighting, scoring thing?
This is my standard
Ah,
practice.
right.
I,
Emily's fingerprints, I noticed, I felt it, they were all over
this
this
is a
sheet.
template I was telling Kelly that I used for my very first procurement here when we did wayfinding design, and I've used it ever since.
I like it, I
It-
like it.
I
It's
really
good.
like this template. I just think it breaks things down, and I personally like the weighting. It's not required. I mean, we have a pretty
Sure,
flexible procurement policy. This was an RFP. We don't have to go based on the low bid.
right,
But this is a way that, I still like for it to make sense,
Sure.
right? You don't want to just go on your gut. I think scoring is important.
so beyond the scoring, I think we can all see that and the pricing, and there's quite a range and all that good stuff. Have you actually spoken with any of these guys in detail yet, or is that kind of a next step you're
That's the
thinking?
next step. And so I think, just let's get into the detail, but I think it's probably worthwhile for me to frame what is the big question in my mind,
Sure,
which is how comfortable, as we talk about this, keep this in mind, how comfortable are you guys making a motion to sort of approve us going forward based on some further conversations versus having us come back with sort of more detail? Because I do think time is of the essence.
yeah,
If
I like the
we,
first one better.
if we
Yeah.
move quickly, we can have this on the agenda for the city commission a week from today.
Yeah.
Which would be great. But I do think that will require a more open-ended motion than typically we come out of the DDA
Right.
with, right? Something that says, go forth, have some conversations and proceed.
but
As
you-
opposed to something really specific.
if I read your notes correctly here, Emily, you want to narrow to 2.
Yeah, so I
So
think the
Valley and
reality is,
finishing touch.
yeah,
So
so
it sound like a sign company to me. It sounded like something other.
finishing.
Hey now,
We'll leave.
Car detailing?
Well, yeah, well, that could be.
camera.
That's one interpretation, right?
I don't know what he was thinking of. It was probably car detailing. That's
Yeah.
probably right, right?
Yeah.
Um, finishing touches, I understand it, from Corbin, might not have as much relevant experience as Corbin typically looks for.
Yeah,
Yeah, I wondered what
They
that-
also have some hesitation about whether or not they have sufficient MDOT or even just generally DOT
they're
experience.
from Wisconsin.
Mhm.
They are the low bidder,
Awesome.
and I don't want to, just dismiss that outright.
Sure.
But I think that my gut says that we're probably looking at Valley City signs.
Yep.
There is a gap in the cost. It's not insignificant, but it's not huge. It's, I think, about 25,000 if I remember correctly.
Yeah,
And
282 to 310.
and I think that might be worthwhile to get someone with the right experience.
Has Corbin worked with these?
Corbin has worked with them and thinks highly of them.
Okay, all right.
Good fit.
All right, so what
And
you'd
that's not
like,
weight.
what you'd like to have from us is approval to proceed with discussions with Valley and finishing to basically
Yeah.
kind of final screen.
Yeah,
And
I
based on
think,
that conversation, you want to be able to just make a choice and move forward.
exactly. I think with finishing touch, it's a conversation about, do they have the experience? Can they do this
Sure.
work?
Sure.
With Valley, it's probably more a conversation about sharpening their pencil and maybe even doing some value.
So close the gap maybe a little bit in the pricing, sure.
Exactly.
So
Will you-
if you're looking from feedback from, like, when I read all this last night, it seemed to me Valley City was like the most obvious choice. Like, I don't
Yeah.
know why we would ever use a firm in New Jersey, because that seems weird. They're a Michigan company. Their quote wasn't that different. Corbin's worked with them, and with all the MDOT stuff coming up, having somebody who's
It's critical.
I got
a
experience.
Michigan
Sure.
company that's worked with MDOT, to me, just seemed more obvious. So Valley City seemed like the obvious choice. Like, if I had to pick, that's who I would pick.
But, ooh,
And here's our sign sample from Valley
Sample.
City, which
Valley
is,
City.
ooh,
Beautiful.
yeah.
Mhm.
very cool.
Would it be just a quick call or email to get clear on whether they have relevant MDOT experience?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
I think that'd
I-
be great for the commission just to hear,
Yeah.
like, yes
Yeah,
or no,
To know
because then
we
it'll.
screen them.
Yep.
I think
Mhm.
that's right. Yeah. Okay, so can we entertain a motion to that effect? Basically to provide Emily and her staff with our go-ahead to do a final screening, I guess I'd call it, between Valley City and Finishing Touch and allow them the authority to proceed with the firm that they think is appropriate.
So moved.
So moved. So moved.
Second.
Second, so moved. Any more discussion about that? All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. All right, Emily, have at it.
Can I
Yes.
say one more thing on this? First of
Please.
all, thank you. That's super helpful. Second,
Tackling when I.
it's probably worth noting, like you alluded to,
Yes,
we're way over budget. I mean, our budget was a shot in the dark. We put 150,000
Buck and a half,
in. These are obviously all over that. I think that I don't know that we need to make a decision right now. We had this broken out into phases. I think phase one is doable, right? That's for Valley City, 152,000. For Finishing Touch, it was 79,000. So I do think that phase one is doable, but we are going to need to come back and have another conversation about, okay,
right.
we're going to have to make some sacrifices. We're going to have to think about where additional funding comes from. I just wanted to make sure that we.
So
flag that.
I was looking at this a little bit after doing that. So theoretically, we'll have 390 in our capital funding
Yeah,
for this year.
Yes.
So let's say we get this to 300, just sake of argument. I mean, it leaves us with 90,000. So we'd have to kind of look at the list of things we have there and maybe squeeze that a touch, but
But of that 390, wasn't some of it already like earmarked for sign fabrication?
150.
yeah, 150.
150,
150,
so-
that's all we had is 150. So now
Okay,
we're
so
saying,
of the 300, only another 150 would
Right.
be.
that's right.
And we have right now unallocated funds.
Right.
All right.
So-
I would just like to comment two things. First of all, there hasn't been a lot of projects, but there's been a lot in the last 2 years. And every single thing and every single city commission meeting I've been at, like the water plant or the whatever, every bid has come in double what all of us or all the city sat around and thought, oh, this should cost $100,000.
Yeah.
Just kidding, it's 300,000. So that it's double what we thought it was gonna be is the least shocking thing I'm gonna find out today. And then my second comment is I think I've been on the DDA somewhere around 10 years. And wayfinding signage was the first thing I remember as being a project for the DDA. So that you came in 2 years ago and took this project and got it to this stage and it's gonna be completed this spring. Is amazing to me. It shouldn't be a 10-year project. And so I applaud you and everybody at the city who has worked to get this finished. And again, yes, it's gonna be more than we thought it was gonna be. Welcome to 2025, and 2024, and like, it just is, so,
So thank, yeah, thanks.
congratulations on getting it done, and thank
Job
you,
well done.
Yeah.
because it's
Yeah.
literally been on the agenda for at least a decade.
So the 150 was probably the 10-year ago estimate, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know, I don't think it ever got that detailed as to have an estimate for the
So
cost.
it's, so 300 is probably about right, right?
I
But-
think 150 was what was left in the budget when I made the
Yeah.
budget and I.
That
stuck a
became the
in
number
there.
by
So-
default, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, right.
So just for clarity, really quick, the 390 that you were mentioning,
Yes,
the 150 that we had planned on is in there. We have,
well,
we have.
that was our estimate.
Right.
Yeah, that was our estimate.
So
Now
the
we're
additional
saying,
150
right,
brings it to, so that 300 will turn to 90. We haven't already,
that's,
Set
yeah,
aside
I
the
mean, that's
150,
kind of
yeah.
the way to think about it.
That's
You
what
got a pot of 390 and this is 300, let's say, sake of argument. That means we've got 90 left for, you know, other activities that we'll, I'm
Better
sure
than
we'll
that.
discuss.
I think if you go to packet page 9.
Yeah.
I don't know how much you want to get into the weeds on this.
Yeah,
Okay,
this is
not
on
at all.
the lower right, you can
We have
see
a
that.
parking meeting after this, not at all doing
Yeah,
one.
yeah, our favorite, that's right.
Because it is what it is, I mean.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
you can
right.
see the sign fabrication. It's
So I don't,
third from the
know why we're gonna
bottom.
be-
It's
Yeah,
already
yeah.
baked in there at 150. And our expected ending balance right now is another 150.
Yeah, so-
Because of that rollover.
right.
So there's some room.
Yeah, that's right.
right,
That's
that
right.
was my,
Yeah,
and also it doesn't, it is what it is.
all right.
We have a parking, so
Yeah.
important.
All right,
Hey, just
very
for
good.
kicks, can you pass that sign around? That sample?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Just for
Is that-
kicks, I
You
want-
feel
I
it.
wanna see it.
What
The dark
Corbin
blue?
told me, because we got 3 of these, is that it's not about the color. It's mostly just about can they do it?
Okay.
Wow.
So color matching is part of the process.
Oh, sure.
So this is
Yeah.
really just about, showing us that they can make the
Thanks for
sign.
that.
All right, very good. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for your comments, Deb. We appreciate that. They're well deserved. So very good wayfinding. We'll look forward to the first sign going into the
Oh
ground.
my gosh, yeah.
Should we have a ribbon cutting?
Yeah,
Yeah.
ribbon cut for the first sign.
For the front side, yeah.
All right, this does include the sign at Broad and,
This does not include that
of
sign.
course it doesn't. right?
No.
All right, okay, all right.
Oh,
So
we
these-
should do that
do
one
these-
first.
You need
'cause
to
it's the
squeeze
big
that one out of them. Squeeze that one out of 'em.
Yeah, because that's the ta-da.
Yeah.
Yeah, right,
Yeah.
right. Okay.
It shouldn't be the last, it shouldn't be the bow, it should be the ta-da.
Okay.
You should do that first.
Their quotes include
On the mini
removal
buses.
of the old signs and, right? Okay.
Some of them.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Okay.
That's a
Greg,
great
where's Greg?
question. I
He's
don't
the
remember.
Sign remover. We get Greg on.
I'll chat and get back to
take
you.
the sign out.
Okay.
Back
This
in.
is cool. Can I take this home? No,
You can.
there it is. Okay.
Okay.
All right, next one. I saw this on the agenda, rap grant, and I was thinking that Emily probably has a rap. Do you have like a song you're gonna do for this
What's a-
rap grant?
It's a wrap. Yeah. Yeah. I'm not going to perform it right
All right,
now.
all right, okay. We'll wait till next time. Emily, why don't you describe this for us? You know how grants are near and dear to my heart
I
personally.
do.
And I bug Emily terribly. And now Kelly, you're next on the grant.
Is this the same grant you tried for last time? and
Yes,
got- okay.
yes,
Yes.
yes.
So-
Go ahead, Emily.
Last time it was Wrap 2.0. This
Right.
time they've not come up with a clever name. It's just, they're back again. And it's great. It's a great opportunity. They have 2 different categories, real estate development projects, which is not something we're ready to do. And the other is place-based infrastructure. There's a facade portion, and a public infrastructure portion. So long story short, we focused on how much money they are willing to give, which is grant awards for a single project application must have a minimum request of 500,000 and a maximum of the lesser of 1 million or 50% of the eligible costs.
There's no cap on it?
I think the cap is 1 million,
Million. All right.
but it has to be a 50% match. So
could be-
that meant that we needed to find something that was no more than $2 million
Right.
to ask for.
Right.
And we did a real quick review of what we've got on the shelf, which is, I just want to say, so nice to have things on the shelf
Yeah.
because 2 years ago,
Yes.
we did not.
Yeah.
And so we did a quick review. The the Broad Street, State Street stuff is too expensive. But Pleasant Street is not. So I think our latest estimate, which to Deb's point, might be under budget. Our latest estimate was $1.2 million to do Pleasant Street. That is what's on the subsequent pages in the packet. If you turn to packet page
25.
better design,
There is
Yeah.
on like 28,
packet page
9.
29. Oh, yeah, that's exactly what I want.
Is this, I
This-
thought, wasn't this to close the street or?
Yeah, no. So what we put this together for RAP 2.0.
And I know, that was a
We
little bit of a
worked
fire
with-
drill, as I remember.
It was a fire drill.
Right.
We worked with Progressive A&E.
Yeah.
Through Cornerstone. And the design that they came up with has parallel parking,
Yeah,
to keep the street open, but make it more of sort of that lunar design
Right.
that Andrew talks about,
Right.
where it really is much more pedestrian friendly. It's much more focused on having outdoor seating, all of the
Right.
things that we have during Pleasant Street, but keeping one lane of traffic open with a bit of parking.
and we could still choose to close this if we.
And we could still close
Yeah,
it off.
Right, right, right.
Right, absolutely. We could also rethink the design if we
Sure.
wanted it to be fully closed. I mean, I think that, we just heard from Wolf and we've heard from others that there's demand to have access to parking on that street for some of the businesses.
Yeah,
I don't get a vote, but I like the compromise of this design.
sure.
Whatever we want to do, there's flexibility, but this grant application is due at the end of January.
Okay.
And this is the project we
Yeah,
have
you got
that
it.
is
You
in
got
the
it.
right.
Yes, yes. And we could tweak it if in fact we were successful.
There's almost
I could
always.
find the other
room. I don't
600
think I read
grand
it
from the mayor.
Specifically on this one, but there's almost always room to make changes to. the
Sure.
Changes both up and down from price point?
They have a cap of 1 million. So I think that we could end up if we changed the design and the price went up, I think this just died, and the price went up. We still would probably have a cap of 1 million. We would just end up contributing more than.
Mhm.
Should we roll the plaza into it, or is that included in this?
The
Court Street, you mean?
Yeah,
It's included in this.
Okay,
I believe.
okay,
I
okay.
believe it was all
All
part
right.
of it.
okay.
I have a question. I know I've missed a few meetings.
Well, that,
Doesn't Pleasant Street need to be permanently closed in order to eliminate the left-hand turn and create that pedestrian stop at that on Main Street for the MDOT plans?
Oh, and when Main Street's remodeled?
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
no, the
No, because you can still
would
turn
sure-
right, you could still turn right onto.
the MDOT plan does not
Okay,
assume Pleasant Street will be permanently closed.
okay. I thought that was one of the
Yeah.
conditions.
But we've
Right.
talked about it though, kind of a
Yeah.
little bit back and forth.
Yeah, it's an
about-
option, of
It's an
course,
option, yeah.
but it is not part of the,
Okay, my
part of that
mistake. I
longer term
was, yeah.
plan. No,
I-
it's a good
Yeah,
question.
I misunderstood.
What do you do about left-hand turns bays on,
That's-
left-hand turns onto Pleasant Street
Mhm.
if it's not closed? And a
Don't-
halfway island in the middle
You don't.
in terms of IDOT?
Yeah, I think you can still have the,
have
well, when you
left-hand
close it, you get rid of the left-hand turns, don't you? Isn't
And
it?
what about the time when it's not closed?
When it's not closed,
So now you do not have that halfway point anymore
Right,
because
right,
you
right.
have a left-hand turn bay.
right?
Mhm.
So maybe you get rid of the left-hand turn.
Yeah,
That's a
Oh. You don't
discussion
have to
for
have
the
a
You
left-hand
mean,
turn.
as far as gaining access to that area, to?
to Pleasant Street.
You had to close that
I was
off.
just commenting on what Stephanie's saying in terms of if we have decided that we want a midpoint to make crossing Main better
Easier.
for what
yeah.
we're talking about,
If they were gonna include,
keeping a left-hand turn lane defeats all of those conversations and all
Oh,
of that.
sure, yeah.
yeah, then you have to go back to the temporary
Yeah, on the
thing,
south,
and then we
right,
want. we wanted them
southbound
to
Main,
incorporate
if
a
you're going
permanent
southbound Main, right?
stopping point for pedestrians.
Yeah, I-
The
Right.
reason why we
I
wouldn't
think we
move,
have to be.
move that island south to the south end of that
In front of my building
Yeah.
instead of Robert's
instead of,
building.
yeah, I mean, that would you could still turn right on it, you could still turn left on it.
Well,
Well, you would obviously block it.
Well, the question
the
is,
plaza was
are you
open,
gonna
but-
leave a left turn then the other way, right?
Right, well, then that would
Oh, yeah,
eliminate
that's
the
right.
left turn
That's
into,
why.
Then I
was
can't
gonna
go to
say,
my
I know
shop.
there was a reason.
Yeah.
So,
Dang
yeah,
it.
so, but your point's well taken. I mean, do you
Yeah.
say at some point, there's no left turn somewhere? Maybe it's that way, maybe it's the other way.
Yeah,
I
well,
don't
it
know.
makes more sense for it to go
Right.
east because it's significantly less traffic.
I feel
that
like
is
we
going.
talked, because I thought the
I-
same
yeah.
thing. Why isn't it in front?
Well,
of
For purposes of right now, I mean, the idea is you've got a few weeks essentially to get this grant request in. And we do want to make that application. Why not? So you can run with this plan, I guess with the caveat that we could tweak it some, to do, other things,
Right.
that everyone's kind of kicking around here. So,
That makes sense.
what do you need a motion from us? Okay, all right. So,
You need a motion to pursue a grant?
Yeah, in fact, the commission will have to approve it.
Yeah.
And so
Oh, we have to-
bringing to the commission.
Oh, I guess, because,
Well-
yeah, where you have to spend a lot of money.
well,
Yeah.
because there's a
Yes.
matching
Yeah,
thing.
and I think worth noting that we don't have all of that funding currently out.
Right,
That would be a
Money
first
has to
world
be-
problem if we had to deal with it.
yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. I
So
think
the
that-
state would like to give us $1 million.
Yeah.
I think we have until 2027 to spend the money.
I was just gonna ask you, how big is the window to?
June 30th, 2027.
Okay, so we got 2.5 years, 2 years. That isn't huge.
But there's some time.
Yeah,
To find that funding and figure
Okay.
out how to be allocated.
okay,
I mean, they were able to go out in the public and get a
Programs
couple
only
$1 million
good for
for
this
the
year.
lighthouse restoration. So
yeah,
there's money out there.
yeah, maybe a GoFundMe, maybe, maybe.
I
Okay.
would love to move on this to,
Okay,
I was
Do
gonna
it.
say I would move, but it kind of personally benefits me quite a bit.
yeah,
so
yeah, I
So
mean, this is
I
something
can
that
do it.
I feel like I should.
we've been
be
talking about for
moving it.
quite a while, and,
Yeah.
I think
So-
this would be fantastic.
so we just need a motion to approve, or to support, Emily pursuing this grant, as been
Leave it to
described.
Robert or I should.
Get a motion to that effect?
So moved.
Very good, thank you. Second?
Second,
Robert, very good. Discussion, any more discussion about this? I think this is a big proponent of pursuing grants, so I'm excited about the possibility here, about time that we get some.
To find a $10 million
so again, this
worth of Broad
this
Street,
isn't a
that'd be
final
great.
design, this is just
No,
a
right.
concept.
We're gonna use this as our entry point.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's great.
On that point, would it not behoove us to revisit the extension of the Pleasant Street Plaza plan that only goes through 26, 25? I mean, they sort of need to go hand in hand.
I think that should be part of, to Brian's point earlier.
Yeah,
What we talk about once the engineers have gone out
Okay.
and taken a look.
Perfect.
But I don't want to spend too much time on this,
Just-
but I would like feedback at some point on what you think about the current design. I know that,
Yeah,
as Doug was saying earlier, that parking, when you come off the
Mhm.
alley and turn left or right,
tricky.
makes me really nervous.
Yeah,
Because I think pedestrians think the road is closed.
They do.
And
They
unfortunately it isn't.
Yeah.
Even when they see all the cars parked there, their brain, having
Yes.
walked through a
Yes.
completely closed street with tables and chairs on it, just,
Yeah.
I mean, I watch like
they
Sorry.
walk through.
families with
regular
really young
streets.
kids using that as a big sidewalk
Yeah.
no
and
all
so-
day
With
long.
cars.
Yep.
So I
It's
do-
scary.
I
Yep.
would love feedback from the DDA at some point
With,
on whether you want to keep it similar to how it is now, or whether you'd be comfortable removing all of that parking and closing it entirely.
So that's what
Alley
the,
would have to stay open, but
so that was the original plan. It was Silver Harbor that moved their stuff around the corner, and I think they did it for wait staff and
it was too big, I think, for them,
Well,
probably. I mean,
Yeah.
that's-
they weren't using the other side at all. They were only using Pleasant
Right.
Street, but the way their door and their windows are configured
yeah.
and just looking out, I think it was easier for them to keep tabs.
It was
if the
a
tables
massive
moved.
space. I
So
mean,
they just kind of moved it,
it was
but the
gigantic.
original design was Pleasant Street was fully closed.
Yeah,
And the first year it was. They had like games out there,
Yeah.
like bags and stuff. And then I think it
they're
was a
stealing
logistical-
Christmas.
It was a logistical problem for them. And so they just altered it.
yeah.
okay.
All
So
right.
if the grant gets approved, then this all becomes, an equine of a varying hue. And, because now you can include the plaza, the whole, like you can look at it holistically.
Yeah.
Because there's money to do
That's
it.
right.
So,
Yeah, I agree. Whatever he said, I'm with you. Okay, all right. So,
you've
very
got,
good. So
I don't
Emily,
think we.
no, you have a
We didn't
motion.
I have a motion on the
Call, need to
floor.
call for the
Okay.
vote.
Is that your comment?
Sorry.
That's all right.
Before you vote.
Yeah,
I do think there will be some cost just to get the materials updated through Progressive A&E. I don't have a great sense of what the cost would be.
Would design be changed?
No, I think they just need to like repackage it or give me the files so we can repackage it.
Maybe a couple $1,000.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I think max.
how about if we
If you-
give you up to $5,000? How about that?
Thank you.
You're gonna want to get it rebid and talk about this. but
Yeah, that's a
you have to
different-
have
yeah.
up-to-date estimates in there.
Okay,
Good call.
thank you.
All right. So we have a motion on the floor with the adjustment of up to $5,000 in spending to support that activity. Everybody is okay with that? Yeah?
Yeah.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Very good. All right, Emily, Kelly, have at it. Good luck.
Good luck.
Godspeed.
Hope it goes better than last time.
Well, they owe us one. They owe us one.
I
How
was
about that?
thinking the same.
They owe us one. Okay, so there's pages and pages of questions frequently
Yeah,
asked
packet
about
page
that.
46 is
Oh my God, look at
next.
that.
I
Oh, we
know.
can skip through that.
And I'll say it's terribly written.
Is it?
Definitely an intern.
Yeah, difficult to follow. All right, I think we have an item here on holiday decor and banners. Looks like our holiday banners are seeing better days. We've got 8 of the 14 banners are functional. So we just need to decide if we,
Yeah, if this is something we want to address, then I think the holiday
What's the
subgroup can take a
approximate
look.
cost to replace?
I
think-
don't know off the top of my head.
So I mean, I
like
think this
the-
is like if the holiday subgroup comes together, we could get cost estimates.
Yeah.
Is this what we want to
Yeah.
do? Do we want to do lights on the pole? Whatever.
And
Do
we did
wanna
those
change-
welcome signs recently, so we can look at what that
Right,
cost
and
was.
so
We've got
I
some
like just
comparables.
discussing when we don't like, and there's no point in this whole group.
let's wait till the next,
Yeah.
yeah.
But but the subgroup can get
Yeah.
together and meet.
I do
before
have
the
a
next meeting.
Schedule.
suggestion for the subgroup as it's been nice, or it is nice to have the music downtown.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
I know that we pay a lot of money to install it and remove it. I suspect rent it. I don't know if we own it or not. It occurs to me that we might want to consider installing speakers permanently. Now, you may or may not have music playing all the time, but you could make a public service announcement. You could have music if there's a block party.
You guys are so lucky on that side of the street. You have
Yes,
music.
we have music. Well, you have it inside.
I
Total,
heard
yeah,
a
anyway.
couple of comments.
So just a thought.
We have no music on the poor side of the street.
I was gonna mention this to Paul,
Where the
but
whores
during the
are.
Rain Dog Parade, which has become just such a huge
Yeah.
event downtown, somebody commented, you should have had music, because they had the guy announcing, kind of dogs, but somebody said, why didn't they have the Christmas music going during the parade? And then last year, ironically, we were out at the winter, the games on Saturday afternoon on State Street, like the fish toss and all that.
Ice
And I
Festival,
heard
yeah.
Ice Fest, and I heard a guy go, this would be so much better with music. So it really does impact an event.
I
agree.
just think that my
festive,
guess
yeah.
is that permanently installing wouldn't be horrendously more expensive than, again, I
Who
assume we
controlled the music? Who turned it on and off?
probably.
I think St. Joe today, yeah.
Oh,
So it's our equipment. It's the same soundboard that we use for the band shell.
Oh,
We
so-
move it up in the band shell at the end of the summer and then we get it ready.
Okay, St. Joe today owns all the equipment.
We
Who
work
owns
with
this?
TPC for them to install the speakers.
Yeah.
The equipment, the power amps, the soundboard, what's running, what's sending
Yeah.
the music to the speakers is our equipment.
Yeah, but I assume we rent those speakers and then we pay to install them and then we pay to uninstall them. I just feel like that it might be worth looking at a permanent,
Mhm.
which could include you know, over time, you could do like,
Phase
you know,
one.
zone
Pleasant Street
ABC.
Plaza.
Yeah, well, you could do,
Yeah.
you know, start with Main Street and then add Pleasant Street and then add across, you know, the
Well,
plaza.
even at the Christmas tree lighting, the
Yeah.
high school choir, you could, it was, that was coming through on the sound, and I
Yeah.
heard comments on that too, like, because usually unless you're standing right
So
around the
just an
choir, you
idea.
can't really hear it.
Yeah.
Oh, it
Yeah,
was
that
great.
was
They
fun.
had that
Yeah, that
amped
was great.
out, the sound was going, it was beautiful.
Well, to your
Makes a
list of
difference.
projects to look
All
at.
right, it's all right. That's right.
We need
That's
to make
right.
sure. it
Yeah,
gets
so we won't.
planned.
Okay, so we'll leave that in the capable hands of the holiday folks
It doesn't get.
next year, whenever you're set to convene the
Jealous.
Yeah, well, it's been there. for
the
years.
the merriment of the holiday stuff. All right, very good. All right, let's see, what else? What else? We have, just monthly updates, in your packages. You have, our usual DDA retail activity. So this is always sensitive to me. I've counted that we have 5 vacancies now.
Crisis.
So that's always a little,
Yeah.
I always get a little sensitive to that. Kingfisher closed, Third Coast Surf closed, Sweet Haven.
Yeah, I just. saw
That's a
that
new
one
one.
closing.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So originally I thought they were just closing for the winter and then
But-
somebody, because
No, I
we have a
think it's-
customer that comes in all the time and she was an employee there. And she initially thought they were just closing for the winter. And then I saw on Facebook, I'm like,
Yeah, they're selling all their
yeah,
stuff.
so
All right. Anyway, so always, we always need to keep this in mind of what's happening on
Mhm.
State Street amongst other places, but,
I am- I'm
We'll see.
aware of, somebody's interested in going into 6 behind, St. Joe today. They've
right.
spoken to me a number of times.
Okay.
And,
that's good.
so the question that, and I missed the last meeting because I was going to bring it up last time. So he called me up and he said, met with the city and they told me I had to have all these professional engineering drawings. And I went to find out how much they were and it was $60,000. He said, I'm not going to do it. And I said,
What's
well,
he
no.
trying to do there? Do you
Uh,
know?
yeah, he's,
Well,
you know,
you don't want to.
I'll tell you offline who it is,
Okay,
but,
okay.
it's not complicated
Okay,
stuff. I'll
okay.
just tell you that.
Yeah, yeah.
It's not like fire Ansel systems or,
Yeah.
you know,
yeah.
black pipe or anything.
Yeah.
And I said, when I opened, I drew everything out myself
Mhm.
on a grid paper.
Sure.
I went to a contractor and I said, can you do this? And then I went to the city and said, here's my plan. I went to the health department. And it was all fine, but he said that the person he met with at the city said that they must be, you know, engineer stamped,
Okay.
et cetera. And I said, that shocks me. I said, I would go back. Now, I haven't spoken to him since.
Yeah.
That's been 5 or 6 weeks ago.
Okay.
But I said, I would go back and make them say that to you because I just don't think it's true.
Put it in
I-
writing.
But,
yeah, I think maybe he got bad information.
well, and he gave me the name of the person he spoke with and,
All right.
you know, again,
Offline, I'd like to,
Yeah.
that's exactly where I thought we've gotten past that.
and again, and maybe he's gone back now. I haven't spoken to him, but I just
But
want to,
sometimes.
that this would be a great addition. It's an existing
culture.
business. It's either going to become a second location or a primary. It's a great, it'd
it's
be
not-
really good
It's
for,
not seasonal.
it is not seasonal.
Let's talk offline.
Yeah,
I can't say if that's right or not without knowing more
Yeah.
about what's
Sure.
they're trying to do, but I would love. to
I can
talk
tell you,
more.
I did more heavy lifting than this person will do in my shop.
Yeah.
I literally drew in the electrical stuff. I drew in the plumbing and the plumbers, the licensed plumbers said, yep. And then they pulled the permits and did the work.
All right.
But the actual overall drawing, and it slows things down. This person is ready. Sorry?
Slows things down.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
All
And,
right.
you know,
Sure.
let's hope that person, whoever you're
Will
talking
give us
Yeah.
another
to,
chance.
isn't just walking away, because that's, to me,
That's
that's
that culture.
unacceptable.
If it's 60,000, he said they're walking away.
Yeah, of
He
course.
said it doesn't
Yeah,
fit.
know,
I
don't
can't
like-
make
I
enough
don't-
money
yeah, It
to,
doesn't make a lot
you
of
know.
sense.
No, that doesn't make sense.
All right,
So-
so we'll leave this with Emily.
Yeah,
and
I'll
Kelly
talk to you offline.
Follow up on and, yeah, see if we can get that remedy. But we always,
Yeah, hopefully that's not an opportunity lost.
yeah, we need to
Exactly.
be sensitive to what's happening on the vacancy trail. I think it'd always be,
We do have a plan though in place to try and elicit property or businesses to come to
Yeah.
So
our.
have done a lot around marketing. I think that Kelly and Kayla are gonna be a fabulous team on that. We've got to get it all running. Yep. we
Just
are heading in
gotta-
that direction.
Yeah.
Figure out the other end, once we
Is-
get them to
when is
come,
Curious
they don't
Kids
get turned
moving?
away.
They don't-
Or
They're
discouraged.
coming to the city commission, I think. Can't remember if it's next week or if it's the following.
Who is
And
that?
does the city have any notion
Curious
of
Kids,
what
yeah.
they're gonna do with that building when Curious Kids vacates it?
As of now, they've said that they don't plan to vacate it.
Yeah, that's what they publicly announced.
Oh,
Oh,
they're staying there?
They're-
I thought they
yeah,
were going to
They-
the Heritage. I'm
Location.
sorry.
They're not, they're,
3 locations.
Oh, okay.
at that
I see, I
rental
don't
rate,
pay
I wouldn't
attention. I did
vacate
not
it
know
either.
that. Sorry.
Why would
Right,
you?
right.
So
they're just expanding. They're not.
Kelly,
They can't
you know,
up
I
and
was
vacate it.
thinking,
What's that?
the
They can't
candy
vacate
shop
it.
that's
It's
going out of
different than what
business.
I thought
I
it
know
was
they
at, right?
also have a store in South Haven, and I know that owner has talked to Jim and has made the comment that the South Haven does so much more business. She was very pro short-term rentals because she felt the lack of in this community was hurting her sales, but it'd be interesting to do an exit interview with her to
That's a good
find
idea.
out why she's closing,
thought.
what, I mean, it might not have anything to do with,
Mhm.
you know,
Sure.
Who is this? The Sweet Haven?
the Sweet
Yeah.
Haven, but it's a fairly big retail space. and
Right, I mean,
kinda
it can,
interesting.
it could very easily just be a question of logistics and
Yeah.
her bandwidth.
Yeah,
She might have
right.
discovered, you know what, 2 stores is a pain in my arse
Yeah.
and I'm
Yeah.
not gonna do it
Right,
anymore.
right.
It is.
You know, and,
I
and
I
Yes.
assure you that it is.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, there's a lot of reasons why businesses decide to
Right.
close, but it would be for any of them, if they would be willing to talk to the city, it'd be nice to do an exit interview. just to
That's a
find
great
out.
idea.
I will add on the positive, a positive with the Melrose aesthetic. I know they had hoped to open in the fall. They just got their final approval. So they are okay to open. I
Right.
can't speak to when they will. I've also heard of 2 other businesses that plan to move into
Around,
spaces in that building.
around them,
So
which building is
this
that?
is where the escape room used to
on the
be.
corner.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, on the corner.
So are they still, is that place still?
And I'm sorry, who is it?
This is the Melrose
Spa thing?
Aesthetic Med Spa.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I
The
read
spa.
about that. Okay,
Yeah,
sorry.
okay. All right, well, we, always something to keep our eyes on, what's happening, in the city businesses. All right, let's see, Emily, we got, DDA initiatives, update, anything there you want to highlight?
Much as paint
Yeah.
last time. We
Yeah.
added the RAP grant.
Yep,
I don't think there's really anything else to go
Okay.
through.
we do have a, parking meeting here
We
shortly.
do have a parking meeting.
Yeah.
in just a few minutes.
Always look forward to that.
I think we may have covered it in previous meetings, but I just want to say that that temporary pedestrian island was a huge success over the summer.
Yeah, yeah.
That,
Was.
yeah, that was excellent.
Well, it kind of proves the model, right? I mean, that, so when they do it permanently,
Yeah,
that's the way
yeah,
to do
no,
it.
that was excellent.
Yeah. We have.
And I
our-
did talk to people, you know, a lot of people that I saw using it regularly, and I asked, you know, what's your feeling on it? They said it was a godsend. Yeah, they said it was great. You know, it was that point of refuge as you're, you know, crossing was great.
We have our tracker there. Anything new there, Emily, we need to be aware of?
I'm gonna try for that one.
I don't think there were
We know changes to that,
I
okay?
think we don't have any changes.
Okay, so everything's humming. Very, very good. All right. And last but not least, the RRC. I know we are
We are
amazingly close.
amazingly close. Our point of contact was out for the holidays. And my hope is that, now that everyone is
Yeah, back in business, right?
grow the certification pretty quickly.
All
So
right.
your end, everything's done, correct?
Yep, we have a couple of tweaks that we are making to the community development side.
Mm-hmm.
But she's already got a draft. I don't think tweaks will impact.
Okay.
Yeah.
Approval. So my hope is that we'll get there. Now, the approval process, as I understand it, goes back through everything. For like one more look to make sure we're really in good shape.
Sure.
So I'm a little bit haunted by like what was you know, okay, but not quite good enough for final certification somewhere in the last, you know,
Right.
5 years of
Right.
going through this process. But we'll find out and we'll deal with it.
All right. Well, that's a very exciting endeavor. I mean, echoing Deb's comments earlier, you want to talk about an effort to push that over the edge. It's terrific. So kudos to all of you.
I think Joe will be the first city in the county to reach that
Ah.
status.
Even better. Nice.
One of only a couple in the whole region.
Is anyone else locally working towards ours? Benton Harbor is?
Yeah, I mean, I think it is at a lower priority and some of the places understand the impact of it, but don't have as much capacity.
Yeah.
So you guys are quite a bit further down the path than anyone else.
When we achieve this status, I think it would be good, Emily, if we had a real primer on, you know, what exactly does that mean? And how we
Yeah.
can effectively leverage it to drive the activity that we would like. I'm sure you'll be doing that for the commission and, you know, maybe that would be a good joint session,
Mm-hmm.
you know, to really go through that and see how we can really take full advantage of all the stuff that comes with that. All right, very good. Okay, let's see, Paul, anything?
For the St. Peter big update.
Yes.
Everyone, maybe Emily probably don't have it.
Yes,
Big things other than kind of our upcoming events, which are big and fun, but throughout the spring, was we are making some adjustments to our welcome center hours. So this is a data driven decision. I went and looked at our visitor log. We average 5 guests per day between 9 and noon. And so we're gonna adjust our hours to
Sure.
accommodate that to 11. We're gonna open at 11. January through April, we'll go back to 9 o'clock in May once our
makes
kind of
sense.
our summer split
Sure.
starts.
Yeah.
That's the big change you might notice.
Yeah.
The only other tweak is we'll close on Sundays in the fall. Where historically we've been open, we'll go back to closing the data just as a support, staying open through the fall on Sundays.
Yep.
If y'all are getting comments about that, or if it seems to be a real, I don't know, a sticking point, or if people who are coming in patronizing your businesses are complaining about that, please let us know. We'll make adjustments. So
Okay.
it's a data driven decision, but we'll see how it works publicly. Beer Fest is sold out, so if you want to participate in that, the only way to do so is as a volunteer. We've got a couple of spots left for that.
I'm in already. Yeah, all right, I'm in.
I think you're on the list. Yeah.
With the promise of free samples.
Yeah.
So-
How many tickets do you sell for this? Or how
About
many?
1,000.
1,000?
It's amazing.
I think it's 1,000 general admission, 100 VIP.
Wow.
Oh, that's great.
Is there, I know this is probably more of a
I don't even
discussion
have any-
So
for,
1,100 total or?
1,100 total. I don't have any
Go to the
comps even
bathroom.
given.
Yeah.
It was terrible.
Wow.
Like,
Sorry.
is there room to grow this? I mean, if you're sold out this early, there's.
Yeah, I think so. I think
I mean,
part of
I'm
that's
not-
a
get
kind of
people
a
downtown,
geographic
you know.
Yeah.
question, it's
Or
a
Jimmy John's,
capacity question in
because
terms
we were
of.
right on
Oh, managing it, I guess.
Yeah,
Just kind of
managing
like
it,
down.
volunteers and what
No,
we're.
People
Stuff on top.
occasionally,
Love,
have somebody
and
come in
part
at
of
the end of
it's-
the day and
It's
throw.
nice knowing that it's selling out,
Yeah.
right? Like,
That's
especially
very
with summer.
popular. Trying to reason
Um,
that after
Turtle,
this,
we
they-
jumped over for Maker's Trail, like, we want to keep track of appetite for this type of festival,
Yeah.
beer festival, and so it's just nice to be able to sell out, but yeah, there's certainly
Oh,
room for the conversation of what.
Is this I mean, I don't know how to put this, is this a fundraiser for you? I mean, do you?
Yeah, we make a
money?
little bit of
Yeah,
money, yeah.
I hope so. I mean, I'm
we-
just curious.
This is this will be one of the very few events that. we
Positive.
Turn a profit on.
Yeah,
Most
right.
of our events are even, or like in the case of iFest, we take a pretty big hit.
Yeah.
But we make up for that.
Sure, sure.
This is
Ah,
one of
great.
those that we get a little bit of juice on top.
Great, wonderful. Very good. All right, thank you. Public comments? Anybody?
Form one line.
No. Any other board member comments? Anything else we need to talk about?
Just
Today?
to Paul for the Chili Fest that you have coming up.
The chili.
We get asked as people handing out chili and nonsense and whatever. And it's very busy in our building because we have all the best chefs in there. I'm just kidding. But we get asked a lot. Could St. Joe today give out some kind of by the consumers and the people, because we all have, like I bet you
30.
we give out 1,000 samples each in our building, at least, probably more. It's probably closer to over 1,500. Like, when you register and could you get like a real spoon? So every single business doesn't have to hand out a new plastic spoon to every consumer. There's a couple people that walk around with their dirty plastic spoon, but like, get some really
That's what you get it.
cheap.
sponsored.
I was just gonna say, you get it sponsored.
Sponsor.
No
Right.
problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, like get a really
The
cheap
market.
promo. I mean, you can get anything made as a promo item.
But a real one. It's a collector. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
like a spoon,
do
yeah,
it as a
Chili
collection.
Fest
Do it as a collection.
2025.
Right.
Because the consumers want it. I know as a business to not have to buy 2,000 spoons for that. I give mine out on a tortilla chip, so I don't buy
I was
spoons.
just gonna
but-
say, I like going yours and you go, here, it's on a chip,
Chip,
literally.
you don't get a spoon, you don't get a napkin, you get a chip. But,
Same with her.
but there's been a lot of,
It's a great idea.
A lot of discussions about.
I mean, you could build it into the red, cause it's basically free for people to come down and do it.
Right.
I can't imagine spoons, even custom.
Even if you get them engraved or stamped or whatever nonsense.
Probably 79 cents a pop or something.
Make it an extra $1 or something.
Yeah, I mean,
Chili
you have to be able
No.
to,
It's $5.
Well, do it as a collector button like Krassel does. I
Right.
mean, you get your little Krassel pin,
Mhm.
people collect them.
Yeah.
So collect the spoon.
You would have little cases that we make.
Oh, wow.
I mean, I have
Okay.
cheese lady customers that plan a weekend around Chili Tour now from
It's
Chicago.
fun. It's a
Oh.
fun
Do they
one.
bring their own spoons?
Bananas
is
to
what
me.
I want.
No, well, some people do, like, some people do, but most people
Never
don't
thought
like.
about it.
You could also add a $5 option of sustainability and you get a spoon.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just
so-
to spin it as a,
You- you
because it
know,
is a
you-
lot of plastic.
You're gonna
spoons
spend
in there.
$1 having them made,
Be
you make
green.
$4 more, hey, be green, give us another 5, we give you a spoon that you just reuse.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
It's probably, maybe it's not too late to get them for this year, but
I wouldn't be surprised if you get
I
them.
don't think so. I think it'd be like.
yeah,
So I don't know.
one of those promo companies that send you free pens every day.
Yeah.
Can make you a spoon.
Somebody does a spoon, I'm
This
sure.
is Chili Tour
I'm sure.
St. Joe.
The chili spoon.
Great idea.
Emily, I have a question.
Is there a certain shape?
In the project tracker, it mentions the Pleasant Street resurfacing. Where is that over by my building?
Because
and
we're gonna
Deb's
start putting
building?
ice rinks in our potholes, so you can have a little recreation over on our
It's
street.
pretty, it's pretty beat up and I've mentioned it before, but it,
You did, and Tim came in and he told me all about it, and now I don't
Remember.
remember.
all right.
Correct. I don't remember. I'll
Yeah, it
get
says-
back to you. I-
Yeah, it says
Right
Lake to
on.
Court. I didn't know if that was the whole bend.
Lake to Court.
Well, that's what it says,
Yeah.
Lake Boulevard to Court Street. I didn't know if that was the whole.
I think it's the whole thing.
Two
Okay.
court, at least
I
two
think it's the
court,
whole thing. I don't,
not and court.
I will get.
Okay, yeah, it's just, yeah, it's pretty rough and, we're talking about
Yeah, you're
keeping
gonna
the
get
plaza going
Yeah.
beyond 25. It'd be nice to have it.
There was some extra money in a different project. I know Tim wanted to spend it on Pleasant Street.
Oh,
So
cool.
I said, yes, but I don't remember.
I mean, so,
Okay.
I mean, some of it's continued. Do we get this grant? Hey,
Right.
when do they announce that grant anyways? Do you happen to know? Okay, I mean, because
Nailing it on the memory today.
It'll be
Yeah.
a couple months after
Yeah.
it's submitted,
Yeah.
for at least 90 days.
Other questions?
Yes,
Thank you.
please,
We're all- Are we
go
at
ahead.
9:45? That's not too.
No,
bad
you're
for
good,
this.
we're good, no
Um,
problem.
Where are we with the TIF decision? In terms of, are we creating?
We are, so we
Okay.
decided in
Yeah,
the last
advisory.
meeting that we're gonna go forward with
Yeah.
looking to
Okay.
establish an advisory group. Kelly is gonna take the lead on that. We talked a little bit about what those plans look like. But yeah, we're gonna try to partner with the Whitcomb. Thought maybe we hold some information sessions, maybe one at the Whitcomb, open to the public. I should say all this without
Yeah.
having actually spoken to the Whitcomb yet. And maybe one here, and we'll invite downtown residents to come and hear about it. Ask them to give us.
How many people? We need 9, was it?
You know,
9.
yeah, so we're gonna give it a shot.
and they have to live within the DDA.
They gotta be
Right.
resident, they gotta be residents, yeah. Yeah.
If we can't do it, there's an alternative approach, but we decided in the last meeting that it would be good to try to do it.
All right, very good. All right, anything else? No? All right, so I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So
So
moved.
moved. Very good. All right, thank you.
Okay, now
I got all
are
approved.
we offline? Everyone's dying to know when you're talking.
Shut that off.
And
And he didn't necessarily say that.
and
he
then
didn't,
leave
you know,
or
but I
end
just
meeting
thought
for
that-
all?
And meeting for all.